It's not your average shopping mall, is it? This is the famous Arab Bazaar here in the old city of Jerusalem, near the Jaffa Gate, and it's got to be one of my favourite places in the world. There are lots of reasons why this place has always intrigued me. In its own colourful way, it symbolises all of the ridiculous contradictions of the entire Middle East conflict. Here you've got Jews and Arabs living, moving about together, coping on a normal daily basis, despite everything negative and violent, including war, that goes down between them. And that's the riddle, the paradox that's been befuddling the rest of the world since the creation of the State of Israel back in 1948. And for all of that time, Shimon Peres, Nobel Peace Laureate, former Prime Minister, former Foreign Minister, now the President of his country, has been deeply embroiled in the politics of this region. A Jewish homeland surrounded by hostile Arab Muslim nations. Mr. President, it's good to see you again. You and I have talked quite a few times in the last 20 years.
That's right.
It must frustrate you greatly at this point in your life that we're still talking now about the difficulty, almost the impossibility of solving the conflict between you and the Palestinians.
Look, we are 60 years old. We went through 7 wars, 2 intifadas, an ongoing boycott. We have to face different confrontations. We weren't helped, God knows what, by the world. We are the only country who is an ally of the United States that never asked for American soldiers. And in spite of the fact that we are outnumbered and outgunned, we didn't lose a war. Neither did we lose our desire for peace.
Because you have said, if you have said that you believe, if the quote was correct, you believe that wars are not winnable.
Yes.
Could you tell me this then? To us as outsiders, the David and Goliath situation that exists between you and the Palestinians, particularly in Gaza, they don't appear to have an economy. They don't appear to have a society. They don't even appear to have a way of life. And now, in the last couple of months, 80–90% of their homes are destroyed. They have no source of income. This is, I guess, why the world was shocked at the ferocity of your attack on Gaza.
It's their choice, not ours. Because we
But their choice to be attacked.
No, their choice was to attack us and us to react. It wasn't that Israel woke up in the morning and went to attack Gaza. What for? We left Gaza completely. There was no single Israeli left in Gaza, neither a soldier nor a civilian.
So why the invasion now then?
Because they started to fire rockets for no reason, 8 years. And every time they got long-range missiles, longer, and they extended the territory that they were attacking, and 1 million people couldn't sleep at night. What should we have done?
I guess you say they were firing rockets for no reason. They would say they have a reason.
What is the reason?
Pardon?
What is the reason?
The fact that they feel like in economic apartheid. They're cut off,
no,
their supply lines are restricted, they can't live a normal life.
No. The passages were open all the time. The land was free from Israelis. The world supplied them money like to nobody else. They went out of their minds. The fact is they are divided. Not only me.
True.
Look that most of the Palestinians don't understand what they are doing.
But politically, people would argue that that's what your government has done. You have consciously divided them.
Political people may say whatever they want. The problem is not political but religious. With a minute, people are becoming religiously fanatic. Reason is becoming irrelevant. They do it for religious purpose, fanatic. They want to conquer the Middle East under the command of the Iranians.
You seriously believe they want to conquer the Middle East?
Iran, yes, 100%.
The Iranians?
Yes,
yep.
And they serve Iranians.
So you see Iran, not Gaza, not Hamas, as the problem?
Hamas married the Iranians. It was their choice. They're the same family. They didn't have to.
Could I ask you this? If killing was going to solve this problem, this conflict, it surely would have ended a long time ago.
You're asking the wrong question. Surely not. But if somebody tried to kill you, what would you do? Be killed?
But I guess you could say, look at the disproportionate nature of this destruction. People are now looking at 1,400 people died in that invasion.
Okay.
A handful of Israelis. Whether that's right or whether that's wrong, the world sees that as David versus Goliath.
First of all, I don't know who is the world.
Well, a lot of people have been very outraged.
I'm not so sure. I don't think, for example, that the Indians look at it that way. There are also 1,200,000,000 people in that part of the world. Why? They suffer from terror. People that don't suffer from it, I don't understand what I'm talking about, you know.
Were you shocked by the extent of the condemnation, the criticism, the outrage against your country as a result of the invasion, even from the UN Secretary-General himself? Did that come as a shock to you?
I didn't like it. I thought it was one-sided. But look, we are also enjoying a lot of support. Don't limit the world just to the televisions. In America, we enjoy support. China is neutral. India is for. In Europe, they are divided.
Is it impossible? Is it impossible for you and the Israeli government to talk with Hamas? That seems to be the stumbling block.
Well, they're ready to talk with us about one subject: how to destroy Israel. It's not such an attractive subject in our eyes.
No, I can understand that, but
look, just a minute. They say, let's make a ceasefire for a year. Why? After you want to start shooting again? But it just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, nobody doubts your credentials as a man of peace. And I've known you for a long while. I have no doubt about that. But Moshe Dayan, an Israeli icon, said, if you want to make peace, you don't talk to your friends. You talk with your enemies. In this case, Hamas.
As Moshe Dayan was a good friend of mine.
Yes.
If you have a talkative enemy, you have an enemy that doesn't want to talk, they want to shoot.
If, say, a George Mitchell or a Tony Blair, whom Blair believes that you should be talking now, he says, to Hamas, said, we think you should talk to Hamas even though you don't trust them, even though you believe they want to destroy Israel, but you should talk anyway.
What will be the subject? To destroy Israel?
Whatever agenda you like.
Look, you cannot, with all due respect, all the personalities you have mentioned, there is a charter of the Hamas says the Muslims have to kill the Jews. That's how it started. So we have to discuss it.
So you think it's impossible to talk to Hamas?
For the time being, not.
For the time being, that's...
If they will change, they will change. We don't kill them because we don't like their faces. We kill them because they're trying to kill us. That's all.
You said that you believed that there would be peace.
Yes.
In your lifetime.
Right.
You still believe that?
100%.
You're not a young man. I don't wish you ill, but you're not a young man.
Well, so I hope peace will come earlier and I shall live longer.
How will that happen then? Given the stalemate that you've just described to me, why does battering them into submission prove anything? I mean, it would appear that Hamas have got stronger, not weaker, as a result of your invasion.
I don't know what is stronger, what is weaker.
True.
The whole language of strength and weakness is irrelevant, because when you use arms, you don't use ballots, and public opinion is unimportant, and they shoot at their opponents.
So you don't believe that Hamas have any democratic right as a...
Surely they don't. They live on their rifles and bombs.
So they weren't really elected, you don't believe, as...
No, it's something even more complicated. They thought that if you go through elections, you become a Democrat for the rest of your life. They think that democracy is limited to one day in 4 years.
But an American writer, Tom Friedman, said, were you trying to educate them or eradicate them?
My answer is yes, but it's not in a school. It's a different sort of education. We announced ahead of time that we are not going to destroy Hamas, that we are not going to conquer Gaza. The only purpose of this operation was to stop firing rockets against us. It happened in Lebanon, it will happen in Gaza too.
Is that worth the lives of women and children?
No.
So why do it?
They do it. Look, if they use children and women as a human shelter.
Do you believe that? That they would put their women and children?
Not I believe it. I saw it with my own eyes. It's not something that I believe or not. And you know what? We checked carefully the international law. What does a nation do when terrorists are using civilian to defend their life as a shelter. And they say, you don't have a choice. But we telephoned every house before that. We made 250,000 telephones to the places that we have bombed.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. And we suggested they will leave their homes. And many of them did leave.
But go where?
But yes.
Yeah, but where would they go? If they leave their homes so they don't get bombed,
they go
where
out of their house, it's enough. They don't have to go anywhere. But if you have rockets or dynamite in the house, what can you do?
Do you really believe that that the people of Hamas are so evil, if you like, that they would use their women and children as human shields?
We saw it on our own cameras. Look, you must understand, we are not wild animals. Do we have an interest to touch a child? Are you crazy?
So why do they? Why would they do that?
Because that's the only way for them to remain active. Because they don't care about human life. You know, you cannot make a case. You have two people, one a murderer, one a victim. You say, let's investigate. What do we have to investigate? We didn't touch them. We left Gaza. We supported them. We didn't touch them. What do you want to investigate? It's clear.
Mr. President, it's always good to talk to you. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you very
Again.
much. Thank you.
Shimon Peres, the 85-year-old veteran of Israeli politics, at his presidential residence here in Jerusalem. And the next chapter in the Middle East saga, of course, are the elections here on Wednesday, and whether or not the new Israeli government is prepared to deal with the enemy, Hamas. And speaking of elections, up next, Barack Obama, the cartoon.
Well, I'm a bit worried about liking Obama, which, is a difficulty. I know something will turn up.